band concert. We are so excited to share with you all the progress and hard work that these students have made in really just a matter of months. And our program tonight is designed to take you from the very beginning, when they first took home their instruments. Do you remember how that sounded? And it leads up to more difficult and challenging pieces that they've mastered this year. And one very special thing about our concert tonight is it is actually the first time that all the students are on the stage together. All 160 band members are here. So without further ado, we'll premiere our 4th grade band concert. Next, you will hear a solo selection from every instrument group, and you'll get to hear the unique characteristic sound and timbre of each of our instruments on stage. We ask that you hold your applause until all the instruments have performed their solo. Thank you. variation of Mary Had a Little Lamb, and this song teaches us the quarter note rest. Our next piece is very important. It is our first scale, the concert B-flat scale. This is Scaling the Wall, a 5-note version of that. We learn many folk songs, and this is our first folk song that we learned with 5 notes featuring the same 5 notes you just heard in Scaling the Wall. Here's Go Tell Aunt Rhody. Next you will hear our first duet. And this is part of the fun of playing with a group, is that you can play more than one part at the same time. So you will hear a melody line and a harmonizing line. Enjoy. The next tune you might recognize, it's written by the famous composer Beethoven. This is Ode to Joy. Macdonald is our next song. This song is one of our longer pieces. It's 16 bars, and it teaches us how to count. Our next piece you might also recognize if you've seen the movie Jaws. This piece teaches us a new note. It introduces a new note that's half a step lower than concert B flat. We hope you enjoy this. Our next piece is another folk song. This features all 7 notes, including the note from sharp, as well as half note and quarter note rhythms that the students have learned. And our next piece will be conducted by Mrs. Parker's student teacher from Eastman, Miss Fridman. Okay, next you will hear us adding dynamics to the next 2 songs. Dynamics are another word for volume, and the first 2 dynamics that students learned were forte, loud, and piano, soft. There are two more dynamics that students learn next: mezzo piano, moderately soft, and mezzo forte, moderately loud. So the next piece will have students getting a little bit louder every 2 measures. This is dynamic Doodle. Articulation is an important skill that students learn, and the next 2 pieces feature a new type of articulation called an accent mark. So you will hear students emphasize the note using their tongue for every note with the accent mark. This is Walk to My Lou. In shoe fly, the accent mark is on the weak beat or the off beat, and this teaches us about syncopation. And our next 2 pieces have a new time signature. The time signature tells us how many beats are in every bar, and it also tells us how to phrase the music. This next piece, Rain, Rain, Go Away, is in 2/4. Our next piece, Minuet, is in 3/4, so like a waltz, it has 3 beats per bar. And this teaches us a new rhythm, a dotted half note. The dotted half note gets 3 beats. We hope you enjoy Minuet. duet features is a combination of all of the pitches and rhythms that students have learned so far. And if you listen, you should be able to hear the melody line and the harmony line being played. FRES is a piece that we are going to perform as a 4-part round or canon. So you will hear 4 different groups of instruments playing this piece from the beginning to the end, but they're starting at different times. So it will create like a layered effect of up to 4 harmony parts. Raise your hand if you're in group 1. Raise your hand if you're in group 2. Group 3. Group 4. Great. And this is extra fun because tonight is the first time we'll be trying this all together as a round. Great. And before our last piece, I wanted to recognize everyone that made tonight's program possible. First of all, I'm only one of the 3 4th grade band teachers whose students are on stage tonight. We also have Mrs. Parker. And Mr. Dozer, who is with us. And I wanted to thank Dr. McGowan and our Board of Education, Dr. Mike Leaner, Director of Student Learning and Innovation, Mr. Christopher Schneider and the tech crew, Eric Gruner, our district videographer, our principal, Dr. Allison Rio, and Miss Caitlin O'Neill, our vice principal. All of our 4th grade classroom teachers, as well as the music teachers, Mrs. Iannello, Mrs. Cole, Mrs. Bernat, Mrs. Kettlecamp, Mrs. Isham, for all of their support, along with, you're gonna let me get one more in, right? No, right. Along with Dr. Kevin Rollin and the custodial staff. Thank you. Sorry, it's a long list. And most of all, though, we really appreciate all of you and all of your support in supporting our young musicians. So thank you so much for being here tonight. Our next concert is in June, heads up. And without further ado, here's our last piece, one of our favorites, Hard Rock Blues.